we shouldn't not use it on principle, a silly principle which is not really useful in proving any kind of point. Okay, just because you are against Nazi human experimentation, you don't have to prove a point by not treating yourself to techniques to cure hypothermia. Okay, you're not proving any point by doing that. You're just being stupid. Therefore, there's nothing wrong with using that information. Similarly, there's nothing wrong with using insulin if you're diabetic or whatever. You're not being a hypocrite. So what are the alternatives? How do we test for drugs and chemicals and things like that while being humane to animals? Well, you know, it's a hard thing to say. There might be computer simulations and things like that, but you know, someone might say like that technology is not advanced enough for us to rely on it yet. Okay, fine. The other thing I can think of is just testing on humans that we have a negative value for. You know, people like Shoko Asahara, he had no problem testing his sarin gas on the people of Tokyo. Why would I care about testing drugs and chemicals on him? I wouldn't. He deserves it. He deserves the same amount of pain and suffering that he inflicted on other people. That's just my opinion, that we test drugs and chemicals on murderers and rapists and horrible people like that. I don't really have a problem with it. Some people might, but then that's again a line that you're drawing. You're saying that you believe that's unethical, whereas I believe it's unethical to test on animals. The animals at least did nothing wrong. They didn't do anything wrong, whereas Shoko Asahara did a lot of things that were wrong. Okay, let me just finish up this guy's email. They fund terrorist groups like the ALF and equate the meat industry with the Holocaust. And you mean to tell me that you don't see the irrationality in that? PETA sounds like a fundamentalist cult. As for anthropocentricity, I don't necessarily share that view. However, we as humans, like all living beings, have a vested interest in preserving our species. Other animals which don't even know that they have rights wouldn't hesitate to kill a human to save their own. If the chimps or dogs had the capacity to develop medicines and cures for chimp or dog diseases by testing humans, they would. You have already stated that you don't refuse to eat meat even though you know that you could survive without it. Would you refuse a medicine or vaccination that could save your life just because it was developed using animal testing? Well, I already addressed that issue with the Nazi human experimentation, right? Okay, as for other animals, if the position was reversed, would they test on us? Of course, they would. But you know, I'm an individual, and I still have a mind of my own to think and say, well, you know, just because they would do it to us doesn't mean that we should do it to them. You know, if the situation was reversed and they were intelligent and we were stupid, and yeah, they would probably experiment on us, sure. But that doesn't justify it. Just because I'm intelligent enough to realize they would do that doesn't mean that we should do it. Okay, I don't think that's an excuse. I don't think it's ethical. So, as for PETA being a cult, it's not a religion. It's an animal rights group. As for it being a terrorist, you know, a terrorist is a pejorative term. One person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter. So, to you, it might be a terrorist organization, but to animals, it certainly is a freedom fighter organization. And that's my stance on animal testing.